Hello, people. Hello. My name is Wellington. As she said, she called me by surname. Respecting, too respectful one. Thanks for that. But anyway, my name is Wellington Mariano, and I work as an interpreter and a translator. And I'm also a pastor, so a Protestant pastor. So I was invited to come here to speak a little bit on the topic of Thanksgiving. And I hope you enjoy it so that we can learn a little bit from this holiday, okay? And after speaking and introducing a little bit of it, you may be free to interrupt me or to ask, or I don't know. It's up to you. You can ask me if you have questions, or I don't know. Okay, so be free. So first of all, I'd like to tell that I want to thank UNS, this language school. I also want to thank you for coming, for being here. So in terms of etymology, when we talk about a holiday, we are talking about a holy day, right? This is a holiday. It means a holy day. So although when we say, for example, this idea of a holy day is much more is clearer in the English language than it is in Portuguese, because when we say that we have a holiday in Portuguese, we don't get the idea of a holy day, because our translation, the day that we say holiday in Brazil, doesn't refer to holy things. So in fact, the idea of a holiday, a holy day, is first and foremost the idea of a celebration, of a religious celebration. In the United States of America, the idea of the Thanksgiving holiday that is happening today, it started with the Pilgrims. Pilgrims is what is called, the first people, the Puritans, that they left England. In fact, they were banned. They were expelled from Britain, and they went to what is called to the United States of America. And when they got there, they faced a lot of troubles. They faced a lot of trials. They faced a lot of difficult situations. And the number that arrived in U.S., so many people died due to winter that they were reduced almost to 50% of the number of people there. And even in this tragic situation, they decided to give thanks to God because they were alive, because they had, although the food was scarce, but they had something to eat. So the idea started because they were with problems, but even so they decided to give thanks. So what I brought you today is a passage of the Bible. So sorry, but I used what is the most common version used in the United States, that is the King James Version. It's kind of old and archaic English, but I think it will do, no problem. The passage is Luke chapter 17 from verse 11 to 19, that says like this. And it came to pass, as he went to Jerusalem, that he passed through the midst of Samaria and Galilee. And as he entered into a certain village, there met him 10 men that were lepers, which stood afar off. And they lifted up their voices and said, Jesus, Master, have mercy on us. And when he saw them, he said unto them, Go show yourselves unto the priests. And it came to pass that, as they went, they were cleansed. And one of them, when he saw that he was healed, turned back, and with a loud voice glorified God, and fell down on his face at his feet, gave him thanks. And he was a Samaritan. And Jesus answering said, Were there not 10 cleansed? But where are the 9? There were not found that returned to give glory to God, save this stranger. And he said unto him, Arise, go thy way, thy faith hath made thee whole. What the passage is showing here, it's a kind of an illustration of what Thanksgiving is what we face nowadays in our lives. It says that Jesus, he was going from one city to another city, and when he was entering one city, he saw 10 leper men. So, he found 10 men that suffered from leprosy, an illness, okay, sickness. They had leper. And then, when Jesus was entering the city, these 10 leper men, they started shouting, they started screaming, and they were begging for mercy. And they said, Jesus, have mercy on us. Have mercy on us. And then they had to lift up their voices. They had to use all the voice that they could get, because they couldn't stay, in fact, near Jesus, and we will see why. So the story is talking about Jesus meeting 10 leper men. The problem today, for example, when we read a book like the Bible, for example, that is old in some of its writings, is that we don't understand the context. We don't have this historical background. So, and not having this information, we miss a lot of important facts. The first point that I want to say is that leper in Bible times, in Jesus' time, it was as cancer it is for our society. You know, cancer is a very hard disease, right? When you have cancer, it's really hard. And depending on the kind of cancer and depending on the level that the sickness is, you cannot be healed. You know that some people, they know that they have cancer and that they are going to die. That's the fact. They're going to die. If they have cancer, they will start, having chemo and things like that, but they know that they are going to die. The probability of dying is really high. So being a leper in the Bible times is what today is when we know somebody that has or suffered from cancer. And as they lived in a society that was ruled by rabbis, spiritual leaders, when somebody, he found a rash, on his body, something that could show that he was a leper, he had to go to the rabbi, he had to go to the priest, and he had to talk to the priest. And the priest would have 7 days, a week. He would have a week to declare if the person was a leper or not. Now try to imagine the anxiety, because if the person was declared a leper, he could not stay in the city any longer. So when the person was considered, or said, oh, this guy is a leper man, or this woman, she's a leper woman, they were expelled from the community. So this is really hard. For example, imagine a man, if he was a leper man. If he was married, he could not stay with his wife any longer, because he could not stay with her. If he had children, he could not stay with his children. If he was a son, he could not stay with his father, he could not stay with his mother. So if he had siblings, that is, brothers and sisters, if he had siblings, he couldn't stay with his siblings. So he would be alone. He couldn't be in the society. The same applies for a woman. If she was a mother, she wouldn't be able to take care of her babies. If she was married, she couldn't stay with her husband. So the person was in exile. They were outcast. And then, now imagine if this leper man was single. Usually, when you're single, you want to get married, right? Or you want to stay with somebody. When I mean you want to get married, you want to have a relationship. But if you were a leper, you could not have a relationship, because you could not date somebody unless that person was a leper like you. So like the situation, it was really, really, really hard. Not only that, the priests, the rabbi, they said, if you are a leper, you must keep a distance from normal people. So it means that, for example, if I were a leper, I couldn't stay here with you. I should, I don't know. They had like an amount of, space that I had to be far away from these people. So, like you couldn't be near people. And then, so where would you live? You would live in a community of leper, in a kind of a leprous area. And this, when you go to, I don't know, have you ever been to a community of lepers? Or have you ever, tried to look up, I don't know, in books or the internet, a community of lepers, only lepers living? If you have this chance or the opportunity, you see that, the problem with, for example, the problem with leper is that a sickness that is showed on your skin. For example, when you have headache, you are normal. You say, I'm feeling pain, but you are fine. But when you have leper, sometimes you have holes in parts of your body. So it means that, for example, people can see just by looking at me that I have something different, because like I'm not a normal or an ordinary person. I have something different. So like for example, people, imagine women that they like using makeup or dressing or being beautiful or pretty. Imagine this when you have like holes in parts of your body. I don't know if you have ever studied this disease, but for example, sometimes there are parts of your body that are numb. Numb means that you cannot feel. You are totally numb. And then it means that you can sleep with 10 fingers. And then when you wake up, you have only 8. Because you don't feel it. So if you have a problem, you just lose parts of your body and you don't even know it, that you lost it. So you say, yesterday I had an arm, today I don't. So when the person got to the community, it was a shocking experience. Why it was a shocking experience? Because imagine somebody getting at a community of lepers and he or she would see that this is the way I'm gonna end. For example, if I was in my first stage of leprosy, but in the community of lepers, I would see people in their final stage of leprosy, and then I would see, and I would say, I'm gonna be just like him. I'm gonna be just like her. I'm gonna die just like him. I'm gonna die just like her. So it was a very hard situation. So that's why in the passage it says that when Jesus was entering into a certain village, 10 men that were lepers, they stood afar off. They kept a distance. Why? Because they couldn't be near Jesus. According to the law, they couldn't stay there. And they started shouting. Why? Because they were not close to each other. So they had to shout so that Jesus could hear them. And Jesus also had to speak with a loud voice so that they could hear also Jesus. So this is the situation. And then they said, Jesus, have mercy on us. They say, have pity on us. We are suffering, we have a problem. We are lepers. And then Jesus said to them, go talk to the priest. The priest is the guy responsible for, expelling you from the community and also authorizing you to come back to the community. So Jesus said to them, go talk to the priest. But Jesus didn't say you are healed. They say go talk to the priest. But they had faith. They believed. They obeyed. So they went to talk to the priests. And while they were going to talk to the priest, they realized that they were healed, that they were not lepers anymore, that their skin was smooth, was okay, was fine again. And there were 10 lepers. While they realized, they figured it out, only one out of 10, just one guy, he decided to come back. And then he came back, he knelt down at Jesus' feet and he said, Lord, thank you. Thank you for healing me. Thank you. I'm so grateful. I just want to express, to show my gratitude. But the question is, 10 people were healed, but out of 10, only one gave thanks. And what I want you to think of today is, we receive many blessings, we receive many things. For example, if I ask you, how much have you paid for the air that you breathe? How much do you pay for that? How much do you pay for the sun? The sun, rises every single day, and we don't have to do anything. So, there are many things that we take it for granted. We take for granted, like things are happening. For example, while I was going here, I saw a car, and it was totally upside down. I said, whoa, I don't know what happened, but the car was there while I was coming here. And then I said, oh, I have reasons to think it's not my car, and it's not me. And you can say, the person is not dead. So, okay, we have many motives, we have many reasons to give thanks, but the fact is, we just don't. Or for example, have you ever come to your mom and said, Mom, thank you for giving me the bottle of milk that you gave me when I was a child? I don't know, that's kind of hard. But she did it, didn't she? Or thank you, Father, for taking me or driving me to school, or whatever, for giving me a ride. We just take a lot of things for granted. So the idea of Thanksgiving is that we are not grateful. And according to, according to the Bible, this is like this. When you are grateful, you are open to receive more blessings. You will receive more blessings. It's like, for example, when I show my appreciation for somebody, that person will treat me better. That person may give me opportunities or something. And we just close some doors that we don't even know that they exist because we're not grateful. So the idea of Thanksgiving is to show, is a holy day, is a holiday to show that we must be thankful for many things, Not only for the things that we have received, but also for the things that we will receive. This is the idea, And not only give thanks for material things that you receive, but also give thanks, for example, for your friends, for your family. For example, we were talking about the lepers here. For example, I think that most of you have a house to live. They didn't. So you have a reason to give thanks. So I think you are not deprived, from your father, from your mother. So you can meet, you can talk. Imagine a leper man, he could not shake somebody's hand. He could not hug somebody. He could not kiss somebody. He was not allowed. You can take my hand, we can shake hands, we can hug, we can kiss, we can do whatever we want. And we think, oh, this is so normal, but there are people that they can't. So you have also reason to give thanks for that. So the idea is a kind so that Thanksgiving is a day so that we can try to look back, on the things that have happened to our lives. For example, we are almost at the end of the year, right? So it's a time so that you can think of all the blessings, of all the things that happened during your year, so that you can give thanks. And you say, oh, I'm thankful, I'm thankful, I'm thankful. So for example, and I don't wanna be here long. I just wanna add a few more context. Another thing that it was really hard for the leper is that when somebody was near them, do you know what they had to do? They had to shout to clean, to shout and scream, saying, I am unclean, I am impure. So for example, if I was a leper man and somebody was approaching and say, I am unclean, and then you say, oh, I don't want to be near this person, so the person went away. Now imagine if you had today to say, hey guys, I have cancer. Look at me, I have cancer. Sometimes you just don't want to talk about it. You want to keep it to yourself. They couldn't. They had to shout and say, I am a leper man. I am a leper woman. The point is, in your life, regarding your family, regarding your friends, regarding, I don't know, your teachers, your pastors, your priests, your rabbi, whoever that might be, if you are grateful. The point is, for example, we receive many blessings, but if you examine your life, do you consider that you are just like that one leper that came to give thanks, or you are in the group of those 9 guys that went away and they didn't come back? Okay, it was fine. So I think the best way, the best exam that we can do is while you examine yourself. So for example, do you give thanks? So for example, I don't know, but I just want to finish with one story. I work a lot with a lot of pastors and missionaries from all over the world, and something that really, changed my life was when in 2008 I met a pastor called Thomas. He's from Malawi. Maybe you don't know this country. I didn't at the time. Malawi is, according to the United States and the United Nations, one of the poorest countries all over the world. And this guy, he takes care of 6,000 children. They are orphans. No parents, right? So he takes care of them. And he came here to Brazil asking for help, begging for help. And he told me, we are here because we need money, we need prayers, we need whatever you can do in order to help us, because our children, they eat once every 3 days. So, they eat twice a week. They don't have like beds to sleep. They don't have houses, and they have a lot of people with AIDS. A lot of people die. For example, there are daughters, women that they lose their parents, and then the woman, she doesn't have like an occupation, she doesn't have studies, so she starts selling her body so that she can earn money, so that she can try to raise the brother that she have, that smaller brothers or siblings. And one thing that really struck me one day is that after one service, we went to a bakery to eat. And then when I got there, we were eating, we were having fun, we were laughing at each other. And then after we finished eating, they said, okay, let's order dessert, right? And then I said, Thomas, what do you want for dessert? And then he looked at me and said, what is a dessert? I said, a food that you eat after when you have the main meal. And he said, wow, so here in Brazil you eat twice? And then that really struck me. I said, something that for me is so normal, so ordinary, is not common for a lot of people. So the point is, but when you eat, do you give thanks? Or you are too busy to give thanks? There are a lot of people that they don't eat. Now, for example, we have been collecting money to help them, and they say, wow, our lives have changed dramatically. Now the children, they are eating once a day. So, I suppose you have a pillowcase, you have blankets. They don't. Do you think for that? You have clothes. They don't. Do you take for that? There, for example, the life expectancy is 40. If you have 40, oh, you were old. And just to finish, I don't want to take you long. I was talking to him once, and then I asked him, here in Brazil, we were talking, I said, here in Brazil, a person is considered to be rich when he has a foreign car, a rich car, or maybe a flat in that area that is very rich. I say, how can I know a rich man in Malawi? And he said, if the guy is fat. What? The guy is fat. If the guy is fat, it shows that he has money to buy food, so he is fat. See? So the point is, this is Thanksgiving. The point is, it is a holiday in the United States. I don't know what we do here in Brazil. We don't even have it. But the idea is, you don't need to have a holiday to have this kind of state of mind. You just need to be thankful. So, what I challenge you, and I encourage you to do today is, what can I do so that I can be more grateful? What can I do so that I can express my gratitude towards people, towards God, toward everything that happens in my life? So this is just, I think, what I want to finish with. So maybe you haven't thought, deep down about it, but I'm pretty sure that we do have many reasons and motives to give thanks. So for example, you were here, you were studying English, you were learning a language. Oh, I don't know, maybe you have a scholarship, maybe you don't, maybe you have a job, maybe you don't, but you were here. A lot of people aren't. So you were different, you were blessed somehow, so give thanks. So when you come back today, maybe when you get home, try to do things in a different way. So express gratitude, with your parents, with your, siblings, with the person that you are here, or maybe here with your, classmates. Maybe there is a guy that listens to you, maybe there is a lady that, helps you somehow with your homework, with your English homework. Just say, thanks. I'm thankful to have you as my friend, to have you as my classmate. I just want to be, grateful. Okay? So, this is it. Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention.